Mióta az Amerikai Egyesült Államokban a patrióták győztek, azóta itt, Közép-Európában felerősödtek.
Hey everyone, today we're going to do this quick reaction to the Central Europe. There's a lot of things going on, and I just came across this video. It's very interesting. This is, if you don't know, this is the Prime Minister of Hungary. So I'm just going to let it play, and then we have like 3 articles that we have to go through. And
a
then,
destabilizációs törekvések. Ennek elszenvedője szerintem Szerbia is. 3 ország van a célkeresztben, Szerbia, Szlovákia és Magyarország. Ugyanis ez a globális pénzügyi...
So this is one thing that you have to keep in mind. He's talking here about this so-called global, he called it, I mean, it has a different name, people call it different names. He called it the global financial and political machinery. I do have a different name, but we're not going to be, that's not quite important.
Gépezet, amely létezik a világban,
But just
korábban
keep it in mind.
elfoglalta az Egyesült Államok kormányát, elfoglalta Brüsszelt, és néhány európai tagállamot is, köztük Magyarországot is. Úgy kellett őket mindenki hogy emlékszik még a Soros-féle hálózattal folytatott küzdelmünkre, amelynek utóvét harcait és végleges lezárását most 20 hétre tervezzük. Tehát ezek a globális pénzügyi erők elvesztették Washingtont, visszahúzódtak Brüsszelbe, és harcolnak a közép-európai hadállásokért. Ebben a 3 országban, Szerbiában, Szlovákiában és Magyarországban patrióták vannak kormányon. És ennek a következménye az, amit most önök látnak.
So the thing that that speech was very recent. So he talked about the whole thing in Serbia. Now there's a lot of things to go through. First of all, for you morons, you know, that still stuck in like elementary school, I mean, just let me show you. Here's you have like Russia. This is Russia, okay? This is Moscow. Here's Moscow, right? And then you got Ukraine here. So in the east, you got like the whole Romanian. And so Central Europe is where you the 3 countries that he mentioned is Slovakia, Hungary, and Serbia, right? So this is Central Europe. It's quite important to understand, because the thing with Europe is like it's not all the same. Like when you talk about when people don't live in Europe or never visited Europe, they believe it's just like France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. That's all they know. But like this ties into the whole thing I did the last video about like this rearm Europe plan, 800 billions, and trying to produce weapons. Motherfucker, look at all these bullshit over that are happening over here. See, nobody talking about this vision. And I think it's quite important, because if you don't take it into consideration, you can't talk about Europe. And so this is a huge, like Romania is so poor. Like it's one of like the poorest fucking region. I went there, I was shocked. I was like, hell no. Yeah, anyway, like the first article, which that shocked the world. So you have these Serbian in the parliament. They set off flares and smoke grenade inside of the parliament. We've seen the video, you know. Let me go back to it. I mean, it's a little bit loud. All right, here's what happened. This is in the Serbian parliament. And so if you watched one of my previous video, I've talked about this destabilization of Europe. It's happening. I mean, but it's happening. This is way over the top. Like it's very provocative, and it's, you know, but a lot of things happen behind the scene. We can't know everything, you know, especially for small countries on all that. But I would like to pay attention, because I believe this part of Europe, this Central European part of that region, is going to suffer first, right? The thing with Germany and Switzerland and all that, first of all, Switzerland is neutral, but like they're gonna like have a little bit of a delay when it comes to the destabilization. Now, the legislative session on Tuesday, after a ruling coalition led by the Serbian, Progressive Party, SNS, approved the agenda. Some opposition politicians run out their seat toward the parliamentary speaker, and then they start throwing that stuff. And one of the slogans they have was, "Your color revolution has failed, and this country will leave, this country will work, and this country will continue to win." So the thing, it's like there's too much corruption in the country. I'm not an expert in it, but as far as I understand, here they say the parliament will continue to work and defend Serbia. So you got these NGOs, these American organization, these three letters or agencies funding oppositions. One thing I've realized when I read the second article, it was talking about like these region over here. See, because you have to take that shit into context. See, those part of this region over here, they were all against the Western so-called white culture, for the lack of a better term. All these places, first of all, Belarus is still aligning itself with Russia. Ukraine was always Russian. Now because they got like the whole 2014 regime change and all that. And you think, this is also something that I want to emphasize, is that you think that barbarism, that savagery is only going to happen in the global south, is only going to happen in the Middle East, in Africa, in Southeast Asia, because somehow they can't defend themselves. It's happening in Europe right now. The same mechanism, the same techniques, the same regime change, coup d'etat, all that is going to happen, and you're going to see it. I'm going to keep covering this stuff. Those Baltic states over here, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, all of them were part of they had Russian culture, right? And they got divided for some political reason, but like most of that was a one country, first of all. And all these places, all those places. Now the reason I show you the map once again, because now these three countries that the president have mentioned is that they are pro-Russians, right? And the whole agencies and the whole propaganda is running into funding these oppositions are trying to like combat these pro-Russian sentiments. So they don't want like pro-Russian. They have to be against Russia, right? And you're gonna read it. I didn't articulate it really well, but it doesn't matter. So this is from Political. It says, "New reality hailed as Slovak protest against pro-Russia. Fico widened to small town." So this is quite recent. This is last week. More than 100,000 people hit the streets Friday across Slovakia and elsewhere in Europe. But they didn't tell us where. So we got a bunch of 40,000 in the capital of Bratislava and 20,000 in eastern Slovak city. But that's not important. What I want to show you is that it says here, more recently, Fico has claimed without providing evidence that legionnaires from Georgia, along with Ukrainian military counterintelligence, were fomenting the protest in Slovakia to overthrow the government. So this is quite serious. See, the moment you start to go against the global financial groups, the owners and the controllers, I mean, forget about the politicians, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just keep like thinking about like politicians. Like you gotta think about like the real owners. And so it goes into more details. The article goes into more details. This one is also like quite important. It says the European Parliament wants to deprive Hungary of its voting rights. This is just today. And I think that's because the Hungarian president made that speech. Well, I have no idea, but that's what I assume. So it says the European Parliament, this is in relation with the the 800 billion plan to rearm Europe. And I told you in the other video, if you watch it, I can't remember which one, I said this plan, it will never work because it's segregated, right? You have all this Central Europe and Eastern Europe. They don't agree with the United Kingdom. Even Italy said, "Are we not going to send troops?" It's disorganized. It's mismanaged. It's segregated. It's separated. It's divided. Nobody can agree on anything, and it's super hard. It's super challenging to try to centralize the shipment and the supply chain, and trying to centralize the corporation. I don't think that y'all can do it, and that's because you aligned yourself. Europe have aligned itself with America, and it thought it was a reliable ally, and now you realize that was just that was just a lie. Anyway, it says the European Parliament wants to deprive Hungary for its voting rights. Here's a little bit for your so-called democracy. MEPs from the Volt's party have prepared a plan with such a clause ahead of the summit, which will take place on March 6th, meaning tomorrow or today, depending on where. Anyway, this was reported by Politico, and Volt will send a 9-point to the European Union leaders, including a call to strip Hungary for its voting rights after it repeatedly blocked joint decisions. And the decisions were basically to send troops to Ukraine and produce weapons and all that plan. So a few days ago, the Hungarian Prime Minister called the European Union to negotiate with Russia. So they don't want the negotiation. And this is why I found absurd about the European leaders, is that nobody want to talk to the Russian. I mean, it's quite dangerous, because you just keep doubling down on the same stuff you've done in the last 3 years. Nobody want to talk. And the Hungarians say, hey, why don't we negotiate with Russia? And then now, no more voting rights for you. Boom, finished. So in addition, the document mentions intention to create a common European army and to provide the possibility of revising the European Union treaties to include new competence in the field of defense and prepare for enlargement. In particular, European leaders will discuss the new European Union defense plan at the summit, which envisages mobilizing $800 billion to strengthen the bloc military capabilities. It was presented on March 4 by this Ursula, however you say that. Anyway, I covered that topic. It was a complete absurdity and insanity to me. I don't know how you're gonna fix that. Anyway, that's just my little take on the Central European type of situation going on. I'm gonna be covering the summit that is going to happen on March 6th, and hopefully we'll have some good news. But I'm quite skeptical about that. We're gonna have some more bad news, but I'm just covering like what's available. So anyway, see you next time.